freezing cold morning in the Cotswolds. I'm here because I've got a very special car to drive today for the next 24 hours. The nice people at the Great Escapes Car Hire have given me the keys to a Porsche 911 996 Carrera, and I can't wait to get on the road and see what it's like. So come with me. Porsche 911 Carrera, the 996. I've got this car for 24 hours, and if you can hear that, it sounds fantastic. So I know what you're thinking. Why has he gone and hired a Porsche 996? It's not the most beloved of all 911s. In fact, in the long illustrious history of 911s, it's probably the most unloved of all 911s. But to tell you the truth, I'm a 32-year-old car enthusiast, and I've never ever driven a Porsche 911, and it's something that's absolutely caused me massive amounts of regret in my life, that I've never ever driven the iconic sports car from Stuttgart. And I've read so many articles and so many magazines about how these cars are so incredible to drive and how the balance is like nothing else. And I've got to the ripe old age of 32, and I thought, you know what, you got to drive one. You've got to see what it's all about. It doesn't matter if it's the 996 or whatever. It doesn't matter if it's the air-cooled or the water-cooled. You just got to get your hands on one. So the lovely people at Great Escapes Car Hire have let me have this car for the day. You can go onto their website, you can hire a load of awesome cars from those guys. They've got an incredible collection of cars. And I'm out in the Cotswolds now, heading to the Malvern Hills, just to get a feel for what this car is all about, what the fuss is about, really. That's what I really want to know with these 911s, is, are they, is the hype justified? So my initial impressions of this car, when I jumped in, is just how dated the interior feels. I mean, car dashboards and interiors have moved on quite a long way in 14 years. Even a modern day hot hatch feels more plush and nicely put together than this 2004 model Carrera. And this is a really nice spec one. This is the 40th Jubilee edition, so this has got a whole bunch of extra spec on it, so it's not the boggo basic Carrera, and it looks really great from the outside. But that was my initial impression before I did anything. But then once you get into the not very well supported driver's seat, it isn't particularly hugging, this seat. It's quite a small seat. It doesn't really give you much in the way of support. I got behind this rather big Porsche steering wheel with the classic Stuttgart emblem on the front, and it just feels right. The car seems to, you drive it and straight away it shrinks around you. You've got incredible visibility out of it. It feels very narrow-hipped on the road. It doesn't feel like a big car at all on the road, especially by modern standards. It feels like it really wraps around you, and you've got incredible visibility out of this thing. It feels like you're in a greenhouse, actually. You can see everything. It's amazing. And the first thing I noticed as I pulled away was just how heavy the clutch is. I know this is meant to be the usable supercar, but as soon as you depress the clutch, it reminds you that you're in something serious. You really do need to give that clutch pedal a hefty old shove. And the gearbox, manual gearbox, 6-speed manual gearbox in this car, it's an absolute joy, but you have to be really positive with it. It's super tight, it's rifle bolt action, it's an absolute joy, and the pedals are just set up perfectly for heel and toe. Even if you're not confident heel and toeing, this car is probably the best car to learn in, actually, because the pedals just seem absolutely spot on for a heel and toe, and the gearbox responds really well to downshifts with that slight blip. The second thing is the ride. I mean, it just feels so pliant. I'm used to ultra stiff modern day hot hatches and that jiggle around everywhere and jar quite a lot. this thing is it's like being on a magic carpet, and it seems to get better the more pace you bring on. Not to mention the noise that the engine makes. That flat six behind you just sounds like nothing else. It's just, listen to that. Listen to this. Oh, it's just glorious. It's addictive. It's not particularly torquey. It doesn't feel particularly quick. By today's standards, if you're used to turbocharged hot hatches, below about 4,000 or 5,000 RPM, it doesn't really give you much. The throttle response is incredible, but it doesn't really give you much in the way of torque. It's not until you get right up into the higher echelons of the rev range, the 6,000 to 7,000, where it really screams, and it's just this lovely high-pitched wail, and it just absolutely takes off, and it feels like a proper sports car there. But when it's pretty easy to drive day to day around town, and just doing the everyday sort of bimbling, boring stuff, it seems to cope with it rather well. Everything is right about this car. The primary controls are just absolute. Even the little yumps and bumps, just dismisses them. And the steering is so intuitive. It's just giving you. I think it's hydraulic steering in this car. This before the days of electric steering, and oh my god, it's fantastic. It just gives you all the information you need and none of the information you don't. It just gives you so much. I mean, it's dry today, as you can see, but it just gives you so much detail of what the front end's doing, and you get that. You really load it up then and really get the car working through the corners. I've got this Mini Cooper S slowing me down a bit here. He's not pushing on quite as hard as he should. Come on, Mini Cooper S, you meant to be a quick car, move! And the grip this thing finds is absolutely just phenomenal. It's great. On these roads, honestly, these little B roads, just feels absolutely in its element. I can see why this car's a legend. I can see it why it's a legend. It's great. It's absolutely phenomenal. So much fun. You really can't believe the fun I'm having. I hope this is coming across on camera how much fun I'm having, because this... Oh, yes, 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 yes. Listen to that. Oh, come on. Let's go faster. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Better slow it down though, we're going to the village. Let's be civilized. Yeah, it's living up to the hype, I have to say. You got to find the right road, but luckily in Britain we've got plenty of nice B roads, and this car on a typical country road just goes to show why it's the king of sports cars. I've never driven any other road car that feels this composed and just at ease with the nature of driving down a country road. It just feels totally immersive and on your side all of the way. I've noticed there's quite a few interior rattles, especially with this particular car, because it comes with the sunroof. I don't think I'd have one with a sunroof because it tends to just rattle a lot, and purists would say it adds a lot of weight high up in the car where you don't want it. I mean, you might not notice much difference in terms of handling, but the one thing I have noticed is very annoying, that because it tends to, the interior on it seems to just like rattle like hell, which is annoying. And there are a few squeaks and rattles in the interior of this. Like I said, the interior isn't, it's not all that great. It's not £90,000 car amazing, but it just goes to show how things have moved on in the past 14 years in terms of car interiors. But you can forgive all that. You can forgive all of that because you're not going to be looking at that. Because if you buy this car, you're going to be buying it for one reason, and that's for the way it goes down a road, like I've just demonstrated. enjoyed this video, I really hope you have, because it's been an absolute honour and a pleasure for me to have made this video. And another big thanks to the guys at Great Escapes Hire. You can check this car out on their website, and if you want to hire it, then by all means, I can't recommend it highly enough. And they've been super professional. They're a great company, and they look after you well, and they know their stuff. So if you have enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe to the channel, and we'd love to hear from your comments, be they good or bad. Let us know what you think in the comments boxes below, and we'll see you again. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.